Welcome back to the channel. This is Gilles TV here, and today we got a Montreal Canadiens video that I don't know how fans will react to it. Leave that in the comments if you've seen what the title is. How would you feel about PK Subban potentially coming to Montreal on a PTO? Yeah, that's right, PK Subban. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that that like button, and turn those notifications on. And thank you guys for all the support. Now let's get back to it. Like I said, PK Subban back to Montreal on a PTO could actually happen. There's been reports in the last couple hours from various sources that Montreal has said back in July that they wanted to add another right-handed defenseman to this lineup. And, well, who fits that bill? PK Subban does, right-handed defenseman. Yes, there are others, but is there any others that have the veteran experience like PK Subban? Now, before we get into this more, let me know in the comments if you would take PK back if you're a diehard Montreal Canadian fan. I've watched the Canadiens from time to time, so I got my opinions, but if you watch them all the time, of course your opinions might be different. Now looking at the back end, you got Michael Matheson, who they just signed, Joel Edmondson, David Savard, Justin Barron, sorry I got running those there quickly, Jordan Harris, and Chris Weidman. Well, they're looking at another defenseman. PK Subban can be your third line defenseman, right shot. Bring him in on a PTO. He hasn't had as good years as he did with Montreal before getting traded for Shea Weber in that 2015, what was it, like a day and a half trade where Subban went to Nashville, Weber went to Montreal, Hall went to New Jersey. All the top name players were getting traded from their teams for some reason. But ultimately in the end, I believe, Montreal won that trade by if you just look at the two players. But getting back to this, a PTO, get him at $1 million, 750,000 wouldn't hurt the Montreal Canadiens to have a guy on their third line like that. But what about his locker room stuff? There was a lot of reports that in the locker room, PK Subban wasn't the greatest and wasn't very likable. Has that changed? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. That's a gamble the Canadiens would have to take, or if Hughes actually talks to Subban about it. I know realistically PK Subban and his agent have came out and said, hey, we know that what we want's not out there. We got to change our style. And who knows, maybe a reunion with the Montreal Canadiens can spark him. Even if it's a year 750 two-way. That's still good. Two-way contract, bury him in Laval for the rest of the year if things don't work out, and next summer you let him go. It's easy as that, but will PK Subban take that type of deal, as he's not that offensive defenseman he was in Montreal when he was putting up 50 points a year. No, that's dropped a lot. He's not quarterbacking a power play anymore. He's not doing any of that stuff. So at 750 to $1 million, it's actually not that bad of a deal for the Montreal Canadiens to get a third line or seventh defenseman right shot in PK Subban. But then again, how's his attitude? Attitude's the big thing. That's why a lot of people get traded. A lot of star players get traded because their attitude in the locker room isn't the greatest. I got, heard stories about Taylor Hall back before he got traded that season where PK Subban for whatever happened. Hey, it's stories, whatever. People do change. I believe in people changing. Now let's go look at his stats here where after he left Montreal, he put 40 points up in 66 games, 59 in 82, 31 in 63, 18 in 68 in his first year with New Jersey, 19 in 44, then 22 in 77. So like I said, the numbers go down after he left Nashville and Montreal. And, you know, the plus minus got worse a bit. But the penalty minutes were decent. And he gives you that short-handed player too that can kill penalties and whatnot. Like, he's a veteran in the NHL easily. But as a Montreal fan, would you guys want him back? Is the question. Is he worth 750 to a million on your third line to help with the younger guys, teach them some few ways? Because he's a good mentor. There's no doubt about that. He's a player for the city too. He does all this city stuff. I still think he does the Montreal Foundation he has, or whatever it was that was reported back after you got traded that he'd still do. He still loves Montreal, and maybe Montreal is a good fit. Maybe it'll kick boost him a little bit, where Montreal goes, look, you do well for us, we'll bring you back again, and just do 1 year after other. He is up there in age, as he's born in 1989, so he is 33 years old. But at the same time, it's a low risk, low reward gamble, or a low risk, high reward gamble if Montreal just goes and says, hey, here's 750,000, you play for us for this year, show us what you could do. If it doesn't work out, you trade him or you buy him out. The buyout's not that much for 750,000. It's, like I said, a low risk, high reward if it pans out. Like, it would fill the needs of the Montreal Canadiens, give them a bit more cap room. But of course, there are trade scenarios too that could happen if you're the Montreal Canadiens for that right-handed shot. And Dolan TV talked about Tyson Barrie to them, or Tyson Barrie to the Montreal Canadiens. Is there a trade to be worked there that way? Who knows? I don't think Edmonton wants another forward, unless his name's Patty Kane. But at the same time, PK Subban's a second option to a trade, and it wouldn't be a bad option. I'm just rambling here now. I hope you guys have a good day, as I'm taking the kids to a parade now. So I'm on out of here, and you guys have yourselves a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.